Hi, welcome. D&D host Malcolm. I have Khanya, Lesiba after Arsenal Liverpool. Fuck, I don't care how you guys are doing. Khanya, let's start with you. As you can tell by that intro, I'm heated, and the reason I'm heated before I give you the floor is of all the ways to lose, there are two ways that I hate the most. Right?
Yeah.
Dominating and then getting caught on the break. That is a painful one. And the screamer from distance. And you know why I hate the screamer from distance? Is because when the tacticals break it down, they're gonna say, "Now look at the foul. Look at the foul 2 minutes before. It allowed Liverpool." So for me, they're just frustrating because when you look back, you're like, what could have been different? I don't know. Anyways, to our listeners, this is gonna be a therapy session for me. I'm telling you guys now because I have shit to get off my chest, and unfortunately, we have the most smug guy in the world here, and it's his team that just won. Kanya, you in pre-production before we go to the reigning champions, you touched on how you viewed the game, right? I think I'm not quoting you, just paraphrasing. You mentioned we set up to stifle, right? And you feel like Arteta didn't maximize the opportunity to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
So let's look at the game in two halves: pre-Eze and Odegaard, and post-Eze and Odegaard. Talk to me what you did and didn't like before they came on, and then talk to me about what you did and didn't like after they came on.
So first things first, to our listeners, I hope you guys are aware Sheik's wanted to host. So I hope you're prepared for how long and how sad he's going to sound in the mic today. There was
And
no good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever
none
you
of
are.
that.
No usual intro.
No.
So I will try and bring the light in this
No,
episode.
can I can,
I have optimism
can I
ahead
give
of this.
context real quick? Just real quick.
Go
I
ahead.
want them to feel how I feel. That's why I wanted to host. Floor's yours.
Yeah, so on my side, I'm not heartbroken about what happened. It's not like the gut punch. We've had much more frustrating losses in the past 2 years than that one for me. It's match week 3. You've lost at Anfield because Sabazai scored from 30 meters. It's not the worst thing in the world, but in terms of what you actually asked me before Eden Odegaard and after Eden Odegaard, I cannot love the first half. It was boring as hell. I appreciated that in the first half we were able to just make sure the game wasn't ever close to slipping away from us. Like it didn't ever feel like Liverpool had clear cut chances. It didn't feel like we were, you know, I didn't feel nervous at all in the first half, which is a nice feeling at Anfield, right? I didn't think, we were struggling to contain player X or no. I didn't think Wirtz was going to do anything. The most dangerous moment that they had in the first half was because Raya passed it to Van Dijk. So yeah, I felt like we were generally in control. I just felt we needed to make a change earlier. Martinelli specifically needed to have been taken off at half time. It was very clear to me very early on that he wasn't going to do anything
So was
in
he
that
was he
game.
one of the things that you look at pre Odegaard and you say this is just
It's
not
just
good
like
enough?
this needs to change sooner rather than later. Would have been cool if Eze had started out there. Maybe even if Noneri had started out there, anyone besides Martinelli. Really, I'm losing faith rapidly that there's anything left for him in an Arsenal shirt. The fact that he stayed out as long as he did was frustrating. In terms of after Eze and Odegaard come on, I feel like Odegaard just shouldn't have played. Not in an anti-Odegaard kind of way, but I feel like if he wasn't fit enough for the 90, I'd rather have just seen Eze get the chance in the middle and we tried something else out wide.
Do
I'd
you think
rather
do you
have
think do you think Arteta has hopes of him playing like do you think Arteta sees Eze playing in the middle?
every media briefing when we were linked to Eze at the beginning said exactly that. The idea was, remember, because I don't know if you remember seeing it, they said that Ethan Noneri's contract
Renewing.
renewals
Right.
slowed down Eze talks because
Right.
the idea was that they'd occupy the same zones.
Right.
So I'm not sure if that's changed because of how Eze ended up joining now, and now he's joining to play a wide role. But yeah, if ever there was an opportunity for him to have played centrally, it would have been in this game. The
Okay.
fact that we didn't even get that is kind of frustrating. I feel like we might have missed a trick there. Would have liked to see something else out wide instead of. Ironically, this is a game where I wouldn't have minded if Trossard had played.
I think it was set up for a dagger from him out online. Yeah.
Yeah, so it is frustrating that things happen the way they did. Context: I watched the game with Siba, so in terms of viewing experience, is definitely not the best one I could have picked for myself. But
I'll never do
yeah,
that,
dude,
bro.
like
For
we
as long as I'm alive, I'll never do that, bro.
we're at a point we're at a point as a team where we can reliably expect and demand to compete in these kinds of games. To be on the other side of it, where the team just scores a screamer, frustrating, but it happens, bro. Like roll on to the next games. I expect wins against Newcastle and City. That's where my head's at, really.
I think for me, right, so when you started off, before we go to Siba, I think for me, when you started off looking at this objectively, like, if there is a way to be okay with the loss, it is what you described. The way at Anfield, a 30-yard screamer, you'll take that, right? I mean, Liverpool don't lose at home. I think you've lost about three
Yeah,
times in like 6 years, right?
yeah.
So I hear you from that point of view. But for me, the frustration, this game is almost the antithesis of what we did in 2021, 2022, when we were 2-0 up and then Liverpool, or we were 2-1 up, I forget,
20,
but
22, 23, you mean?
22-23, right? When Liverpool
Yeah.
came back because Xhaka decided to fight with Trent or whatever, right? It frustrates me for the same reason, but it's the antithesis of that. In that game, we were offensively potent, and Liverpool were truly for the first 65 to 70 minutes shaken. Then in the last 20 minutes, let me tell listeners, fans, everyone's Liverpool will have 20 minutes of the best football you'll see in your life in every game they play. Right? Don't get confident because they're underperforming or whatever. They look shaky because it doesn't matter. Right? And I have thoughts on Liverpool but I'm gonna go to see what those. So that game, Liverpool had 20 minutes of brilliance. They honestly should have won that game if Ramsdale didn't pull that save, that incredible save from Salas Curler, right? This year, it was the opposite. I think that's the best. Other than games where Liverpool just get blown out of the water, like it happens every now and then, like every blue moon, like at Atletico Madrid at Anfield, right? Like those weird games when Liverpool just aren't Liverpool. I think that's the best I've seen someone manage Liverpool and manage Anfield. The first half, it was a ghost. Like I was at a pub, surround sound. You couldn't feel the atmosphere. You couldn't hear anything. So Arteta, for the first time, I think goes to Anfield and actually managed the arena. Because one thing that sold me on him as a coach was, everyone roasted him for putting the sound around when we were training. But like, it's because he understands more probably than anyone else in the league, having played for Everton, what that stadium does and how to beat Liverpool. Wenger also quite impressively pointed out, like Anfield in Europe is the difference maker, right? So Arteta's always known the key to going to Anfield is trying your best to literally pacify that audience. And there are many different ways you can do that. In 22-23, I think it's by shell shocking them and playing incredible football. Today, it's literally by setting up in the most pragmatic and like, but it's not pragmatic in a negative sense. We were possessing the ball, we were confident, we were passing forward, we were just very tempered with how we went forward. So having that first half to then not, because we knew second half Liverpool was coming guns blazing, right? So when you talk about not making those changes a bit sooner, that's when I get frustrated because it just feels like, again, the opposite, where it's like before we bit off more than we could chew and we didn't know when to retract. Now we had Liverpool ready for the counter knockout punch, right? We had decent half chances. I mean, so did Liverpool, but it was there for us to impose ourselves more. I'm not really mad about us losing. I'm mad about, it's like a fighter goes into a ring and for 11 rounds sets up that one shot and we just never take it. So that is why it's frustrating for me because Liverpool are going to do it. Liverpool does. Before I go to Siba, unless you have something you want to say, Khanya.
We did try to take our chance. Declan Rice's free kick. That was our moment. that was
You
our
know,
equivalent. We saw Sebastian try his. Bro, it happens.
you know,
That's how it
you
goes
know,
sometimes.
when the camera panned to the POV, bro, I just thought, dude, what was Ronaldo thinking against us in '09?
He's insane.
He's
But he saw
actually insane.
Almunia. He saw
Yeah,
Almunia.
yeah,
Yeah.
he saw confidence
He saw Almunia.
booster.
He said blunt keeper. He said, I've got it.
Blonde keeper in '09, unbelievable. Okay, Lesiba, bro, listen. What conversation are we having? Because are we gonna speak seriously, or are we gonna get bullshit? Because I'm not gonna enter this in good faith and then hear nonsense. So you tell me now, so I know how to position myself.
I want to do this in good faith.
Okay, a serious conversation. Okay, sharp.
Yeah.
So
You know why? Because we all watched the game, guys. And I told Kanye this while we were watching. That was a bad game of football.
yeah, that wasn't.
It
Yeah,
wasn't. It wasn't good. Like,
very tentative.
yeah. Like that's the thing. It was so risk averse. And even like Kanye and I both said in the 75th minute, geez, I wish there was another half coming because now I feel like I'm watching a
A
football
football
game
match. Yeah.
because everything before that felt like both teams were trying to force an error out of the other. Like
Mm.
Yes. Yeah.
There was nothing by the way of like, it wasn't a good faith game.
Mm.
It felt like a very cynical, like, yeah, okay, we'll do the usual stuff to kind of progress the ball into the final third, but I'm going to trip you up here. I'm going to get a corner,
Not
I'm going to
enough
get a
risk.
free kick. But like, there was no cut in and shoot. There was no through ball. There was no, none of that stuff. None of
And
that fun stuff.
it reminds me. It reminds me. So in like Ultimate Team, I don't know. You guys are like former FIFA dons. I don't know if you've seen the chops online. The whole thing of like the every update, every patch in FIFA, they'll have like a broken meta that almost like increases your win rate by like 20-30%. So sometimes it'll be like players with styles of curling shots, and then you can just hit
Oh,
finesses from
yeah.
everywhere. Right. So I think it was like last year there was a meta that was like if you play five at the back, you will win because of the way like the AI pushes the team's opposition players into free spaces. So now on the break you can just cook. So now what
Mm,
ended up happening was the niggas would be playing haram and everyone's five. It's five at the back versus five at the back. So like it's some of the worst games. That's what that reminded me of. Where it's
yeah.
like
I'm
five at the back versus five, and now it's like there's nothing sustained. It's all about like can you get a
Mm,
counter? Can you do this? And to add
mm,
to that, before I go to your I have something on the table for you. To add to that, what makes it even more frustrating is there were those chances for the taking. I think Kirkes and Madueke, I'm shocked we didn't go at Kirkes a bit more. I think he's a good left back, but he's still, I think people underestimate
bro.
being the young guy moving to a club like Liverpool. You're going to have the jitters, right? And you can see it in his
Yeah.
performances here and there. I look at things like Liverpool, that third man run that Vert started doing in the last 20-30 minutes was causing us problems. You know when McAllister played that pass to Vert because Vert's pushed forward and then Vert's volleyed it and was offside? Why weren't they
Yeah.
exploiting that more? Because we're not playing with a fixed CDM, right? Like
Mm.
Zubimendi and Rice would do this alternating thing where Rice would drop into the back three and like so I'm like it's just baffling from two coaches where their whole thing has kind of been offensive potency that's the game of it's very frustrating, like if I won it I'd be happy, but I appreciate that comment, Siva.
It's, yeah, because the thing is, it did feel like a cynical game. And I felt like in a time in football, at least for me, where I feel like the enjoyment from fans is at an all-time low, it's definitely not incentivized. The entertainment of the game is not incentivized by
Yeah,
coaches.
yeah, yeah.
Obviously, these are multi-billion-dollar companies now, so it's like, dude, you can't mess up. You need to be risk averse. You can't sign Yannick Bolasie and hope it works. It's not gonna work out. Like, you need to like have every one of your ducks in a row. And unfortunately, when you get to a game like Arsenal versus Liverpool, that's what it looks like.
Yeah,
It looks like maybe at the last 15 minutes of the game we can see a football game, but
yeah,
everything
last
else,
15 to
hell
20,
no,
yeah, hell
no,
no.
bro.
mm.
Which is also a bit, and I don't mean to make this, and look, we will obviously disagree. I like that we're operating in good faith, but some of these things are sure to set you off because we have different points of view.
Sure,
Which is
sure, sure.
honestly interesting for Liverpool because you're home. Like I understand
Mm,
Arsenal doing this, but like that Anfield, it's the most annoying boost in the world because Oaks, we talk about aura all the time.
mm,
It's probably the only place where it is ubiquitously true. Like if you go into that arena, you forget how to play football. And I'm surprised from maybe that speaks to how much Slot respects Arsenal and their ability to do something on the break. I don't know. Maybe there's some deficiencies he's afraid of, but I expected Liverpool to like to Kanye's point, like at some point I was like, where's like I mean Salah, we know Salah will have these disappearing acts every now and then, but like
mm.
he's not chasing down, he's not pressing, he's not like it was a really
By
strange
design,
game.
though.
Yeah,
By
by
design.
design. Yeah, no, clearly there was something instructed. So Siba, something on the table to you, and Kanya, you can also chime in. I'll go to you after he answers. So we know my long-standing thing that we all have varying agreeability on is I say Liverpool's not that good. The very important word in that sentence is that good because they're good. They are a good team, right? Obviously,
Yeah.
but they're not that good. And when I say that, I'm speaking relative to I think the success they have now versus the success that I think they should have had under Klopp. So for me, it's kind of hard to it's kind of like if we use hip hop as an example, it's like okay, J. Cole's good, but like Nas, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of how I feel.
Mm,
It's like J. Cole getting the accolades Nas should have gotten, right? So Liverpool, to me, do three things incredibly well at the level of an all-time team. I think you defend very well but not as we're used to in the sense of having a defensive unit. I think
yeah.
I don't know what's happened to Allison. And what's happened to Van Dijk is Van Dijk, but I don't know what's happened to Alisson. But like he's always been an all-time keeper, but now he's kind of entering that Peter Cech thing where he can win you a game. Liverpool will concede 20 shots. Van Dijk will block 4. Alisson will save the remaining 16. And, of those 16, 10 will be like genuine chances. So you guys defend extremely well from the perspective of not conceding, not necessarily from the perspective of preventing, right? That is all time. The next thing you do all time is how you attack in transition. It's terrifying. It is fucking scary because Liverpool's players aren't that fast until they're in transition. Then they're the fastest fucking people on earth. It's terrifying.
It's no. And I agree. You know what? I would say this a lot of Diogo Jota. I really miss watching him in transition because he seems like one of those like 82 pace type of guys. Like
Yeah,
He wasn't that fast, but he was pacey
but in
on a counter. Man.
what
He
happens?
would eat up the pitch. It's like, bro, how did you get there?
Pace through, bro. Terrifying.
I don't know. I don't know what kind of coaching goes on behind the scenes because I agree with those things.
And I have
our
the last one that I
defensive
want to
setup-
take to you. I have one more that I want to pick up, but you can comment.
Okay, let me land here. I think the defensive setup that we have, I think we know that in Alisson and Van Dijk, we have two miracle workers where it's like, guys, percentage of a goal getting through is low enough that we can do this bullshit. Like we can kind of struggle our way into a win. I mean, this is our first clean sheet, which is great and everything, but Van Dijk was amazing today. Amazing. Like
Dude.
Like imperious, like even when I think back to that Champions League game against Napoli. I mean, Alisson has had so many great moments. It's going to be too many to name. We have those two at the back, and therefore we're going to be all right. And this thing of the transition thing, obviously, we've always had that in the bank. I think what Slot's era has shown me is that the midfield battle is not entirely important to him. I think that he is a transition manager.
Transition game, yeah.
He's like, dude, just get the ball as close to the box as possible, and there will be a guy up there who will do something. Like, they're in the middle or whatever, fights, whatever. But like, what's Slot's midfield guy? Who did he sign? Of all these signings that have been happening in this window, who's his like? I want this guy for my midfield. It's Klopp's midfield.
Khanya?
So I think it's interesting that you say he's a transition guy because I don't think that's by design. I think that shows Slot's strength as a coach.
He adapted. Yes.
He came to the team. He said, "Who's
to
here?"
try be
Because he tried for Zubimendi. That's what he wanted. That was the ideal. That was the dream signing for him.
I was gonna
He
say
looked.
this,
He said, "Okay, there's no Zubimendi." Then he looked around. And he said, "Okay, there's Bosley. There's McAllister." He said, "I can cook like this."
Yeah.
It shows that that's a coach that knows his squad.
Very practical coach.
Very true.
I think his idea of what Liverpool need to be is more reflective of like, what do I need my players to do to win?
Right.
I don't think he's as attached to
That's why you work so.
It's the perfect segue into my third point. Sorry, but this is the perfect segue into my third point. What you just said there, what Liverpool need to win. The third thing Liverpool do incredibly, like unbelievably well, and is probably the most important thing, is win football matches. Right? Liverpool have lost the loser gene. As we can be honest, as fans of these two establishments, we were the loser gene clubs. Like this thing where somehow, some way, I don't know what's going to happen.
And you'll find a way to lose this game.
You will find a way to lose this game. Liverpool have dismantled that under Slot. And I think even though Klopp probably was more transformative, I think Slot's more of a winner in my mind than Klopp because he wants to win football games. And this is my closing statement that I wanted you guys to touch on. Slot's Liverpool is the regen of Fergie's United. I think everything this Liverpool team does is exactly what Man United used to do and is why Man United won what they did. Man United will play games, they may get played off the park, they may concede 10, 15, 20 shots, but guess what? They'll get played off the park, they're winning. They concede 10, 15 shots, you're lucky if you score one. You are lucky, and it's typically because of something crazy Vidic, Ferdinand, Jaap Stam would do, and Edwin van der Sar, who to me is what Alisson is at this level that I've only seen Van der Sar and Cech get to. And it's not to say that there aren't other keepers who have done this. To Courtois, for example, I think you could also throw into this hat. It's where he single-handedly changes momentum of the game. Like, they will deflate the opposition. I can't explain it. It's like, what the fuck do we need to do to score? So like, this Liverpool team have literally, in my eyes, like today, watching them, seeing that goal go in. This is why I'm so upset. It's because it's like, oh, this is the Ronaldo free kick against Portsmouth. Oh, they won that game 1-0. Okay. There's nothing you can do. Liverpool, when their backs are against the wall, are going to win the football game. So I think, Siba, you're about to become your enemies. How does that make you feel hearing it? Do you agree with it? What's your take? And Khanya will go to you.
No. I'm very happy to borrow some of this forbidden energy. I mean, knowing where it leads to gives me pause because United are in a deep hell right now. But you know what? I concur. I concur with that observation because the past two, I mean, the two games before this one, us winning like in the last minute type of thing that we've done. Also, last season what we did with Darwin a couple of times, that kind of stuff happens because there is. I've said this kind of many times. Genuinely, honest to God, believe in football gods. I think it's a
Yes.
real thing. There's
Very
a
fucking real.
metaphysical, supernatural energy in football. It's real and it is operating in football. Like what Alonso did with Bayern Leverkusen. Dude, you are dipping into that well. You are incantations and spells are working.
Especially 20 years after the Invincibles. It's like, oh,
Mm.
this is very timely
Mm.
that the world decided to just do this again.
And there's like an external factor when it comes to the incantations or the football gods. There's like there needs to be the right amount of admiration and hatred from the football world. Arsenal have only tapped into the football gods when it comes to set pieces. And this is what I mean. Because it started off with our corners. It started off with, oh, this is very people appreciated the new sets. And then slowly it turned into, these fuckers are only scoring corners. And now all of a sudden, niggas hate us. And so the football gods say, oh, it's like they're rage baiting. Okay, cool. We're gonna give Arsenal corners. Liverpool, and the point I was going to make before I go to Kanye is like, I'm going to stop saying Liverpool aren't that good. Who cares if they're not playing well? Because I understand what they are now. They're a winning football team. That's what they're there to do, is win football games. So who fucking cares if they have 20% possession? They're going to win. And the football gods, I think they saw, because this isn't only me saying it. This is something that has long been, Mvu said it, a lot of fans have said, like, oh, Liverpool aren't that good. I think we fed, like in Dragon Ball Z when the fighting energy gave Majin Buu to come to life. We've brought this Liverpool winning inevitability. I really think us haters have manifested this. I don't know. Khanya, do you, before Siba, of course you can cut in Siba, but Khanya, do you have any takes, anything to talk on this observation that I've pointed to? How do you feel? How does that make you feel, especially looking at like winning the league now that we're up against a team that quite clearly are serial winners?
I think what you've done by comparing them to Alex United is perfect. I have no issues with it. I think even when it comes to their recruitment, there's elements of it as well. I think Alex used to do of taking players from like smaller teams in the Premier League and just making sure your team, like, you just weakening the opposition by taking like from those around you, taking a Van Dijk, taking a Kirkes, taking McAllister, trying to take Isak, taking Guehi. Those kinds of moves that Alex used to make was just like, you're just slowly taking away from other Oaks, building for your team, getting players that are proven and ready for the league. It's probably the best way to do it, right? I think Arteta's overdone it now, where it's just like, okay, bro, there are players in other leagues that might fit your team better than the homie from down the road, but it's fine. But yeah, so I'm fully aligned. It's a bit sad in terms of what it means for us competing for the league. It's looking long. It's looking
so fucking
looking
long, dude.
But I am still as confident as I was a few weeks ago, if only because other teams attack with a bit less tentativeness than Arsenal do, and Liverpool are there to be got at. I do believe that. And the reality is that 2 seasons ago, Arsenal didn't lose to a single top 6 side, and we did everything else we were meant to do, but then we lost to Villa. So
Right. Yeah.
I don't think
Great
Liverpool
point.
need to. We don't have to beat Liverpool to win the league. And specifically, we don't have to beat them at Anfield for that to be the case. If you go to Anfield, like I said at the start, if you go to Anfield, Sabazak goes from 30 yards and you lose, you
Gotta
take
take that on the
those,
chin, man.
you
Gotta take
roll
that
on.
on
Like
the
I said, the big thing now, when we go to St. James's Park, we must be able to do what Liverpool did.
Yes.
That's for me where we'll see if Arsenal are really in this thing or not. If we
Yeah.
can't compete in that game, if we can't make sure we take something from them this time round, then we have issues.
Yeah,
Then we
I
need to
agree.
really
I agree.
evaluate if Arsenal can compete for this title. But yeah, otherwise, top point. I hate that they are like Sir Alex though. And specifically your point about Allison, he's the best.
No, he's no.
He's the best
He's
we've seen
the
in the Premier League.
no. Yeah, like this. I'm not even mad at that anymore because I thought there was a bit of Liverpool glaze, and I was seeing because like okay, cool, Van Dijk, Allison, I get it. Then I saw Robertson in an all-time PL. I said, listen. To check because like guys, I don't understand like I didn't even. Do you remember that Khanya in 2010-11 when we beat them 3-1? Wildcard scored. Fabregas
And
assisted
then
Wildcard.
Percy as well.
I think Van Persie scored 2 that game. I just remember
Yeah,
Walcott scored.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I didn't watch the game because it was a midweek game, and I said no, we're losing. Like I've never felt so deflated playing. Of all the teams we played, even Arsenal were most shit and Liverpool's flying. Chelsea for me were hell, and it's because even if your strikers showed up, check, bro. First of all, his name is too certified. He was always going to be Peter with no E and check with CECH. He's done. What do you mean?
Check your
From the
savings.
Czech Republic. From the Czech Republic. Yes.
Dude, proper.
Yes.
So Allison
Yes.
now, for me, like, because he's always had a bit of an error proneness about him at times. The Brazilian, the Brazilian funk can get him. But like, it doesn't matter. The boom cha cha, it plays, bro, and then they fuck up him and Edison. But like, it doesn't matter, bro, because he transcends logic. And when a keeper, it's so hard for a keeper to get to that point. And another guy who was like this was Casillas, because Casillas, if you point to like when you talk about all-time ratings, Casillas probably isn't in the top like 5, top all-time rankings. But if you talk peak, give me one game, peak any keeper, I'm putting Casillas probably in goal. Because that guy, when he would be in that mood, he's there to ruin your party as opposed to keep the game measured and tempered. So Allison, I'm not mad with him being an all-time goalkeeper. I really think he is rightfully there, just like Van Dijk. As much as people want to discredit him, they are there. I guess before we move on to the rest of the league, really, and the rest of Europe, Siebes, this Liverpool side, obviously, we've spoken about like there being question marks or things that are imbalanced in terms of like midfield. I keep joking about the diamond point you made, but like, how do you see the rest of the season panning out? Right, you've had a great start. And it's early days. I can see you're also a bit tempered because you've done this for the past 6 seasons as a fan. An early win, it doesn't guarantee anything. But like, do you think Liverpool need to address those concerns that people have been pointing out about a midfield, about this, about that? Or do you think let's just let the vibes carry us through? And I don't mean vibes in a derogatory sense, but like there is that winning aura you guys have. Are you just saying let the season pan out, or do you still want to see them be active in the transfer market and fill a few holes?
We need Isak and Gehi, and then we're fine. Then we can win anything. Isak and Gehi, we get those two. I don't see any competition being too big for us to win. I think that obviously losing Salah to AFCON, when that happens or whatever.
Yes,
it's a.
I forgot.
But if we get,
they never lose a game when Salah goes to AFCON. By the way, it's never happened.
That's
They've
true,
never dropped points when Salah goes. Nothing changes.
But the thing is, you must plan.
It's all psychological.
Success. No, wait. Let me land on this. It can happen. If we don't get okay, look, Ekitike is looking to be the best bang for buck out of this striker round robin that happened this transfer window. But if we get Isak as well, and Salah goes, then yet again, Liverpool's recruitment staff have made sure that when Salah goes to AFCON, we're fine.
We're sorted.
We're okay. Again, they've done it again. That's my opinion. So also when Salah, I don't think Salah will renew again. I think after this is done, big money.
Saudi's calling. Yeah.
And then and he should do that. Honestly, he should do that. But then we have Isak and Ekitike. Khanya was even saying Verts and Isak and all that stuff is a post-Salah world. That's what you guys are preparing for.
Yeah, no, Khanya, that's what I was about to say. Look at this, being synchronized. That is literally. Salah is holding Verts back. I know people want to double over different Verts and all of this stuff that they're calling him. Salah is holding. Slot is good, and it's annoying that he's good because he doesn't present as. When you think of a good coach, you don't imagine a guy that looks like him, bro. He looks like my manager.
Dude, what is up with you guys and bashing how Slot looks? Khanya did it today as well. I was like, What are you talking
I
about?
said I said I would like a suit. I said I would like a suit.
You
It
don't
wasn't. It
like
wasn't.
his
It, was,
suits.
it wasn't
Nah,
sitting
this is
nice.
the
It
tan.
wasn't
This is
sitting
the
nice.
Obama tan suit thing all over again. You guys are hating. You guys are
Lesiba,
hating.
Lesiba. Dude, if I show you a picture of Jurgen Klopp and you have no context and you see the beard, you see the glasses, you're gonna think, this guy did something in life. If I show you Slots, he looks like our PE teacher, bro. Like he actually looks like the oak that would like. What do you mean? But the thing is, he's so good because I think that's why he pulled the plug on Verts now. Come to the club. Don't worry about goals, assists. Just get used to things. As soon as Salah's gone, and we're talking, and I have these random. I know we're all the same because we love the sport. I was literally in the middle of work. It was 8 p.m. I'm in like hour 15 of my day, and I say, "That's why they want Isak. This fucking bold Irishman. He's not thinking about now. He doesn't care about what happens now.
Why'd you make him Irish?
He's
I'm
Dutch. But
Dutchman.
anyway, yeah.
Sorry, it's full Dutchman. My bad. That's funny. I don't know why I went Irish. I think because I've never heard. I know there's the Dutchman. I don't know. Anyways, he wants
we don't
him.
post flags. That's why we don't post Dutch flags like United. Idiots. But
Those
anyway,
fucking fools. No, like
idiots.
he is building for life after the fact, and he's gonna do it in a way that if your new system, and this is what made Man City so devastating. It's because Haaland, the next gen, almost completely erased why you were scared of Man City in the previous gen. And that is so dangerous, right? Another team that did this was Pep. Pep again at Barca. Oh, you're scared of us because Messi's on the right. CF. You know what I mean? Oh, you're scared of Liverpool because of Salah on the right. We're not playing with wingers anymore. Now we're going to have two strikers who can literally just play anywhere up top. Verts pulling the strings. So Slots, I was wrong I underestimated you as a coach. And Khanya, that's a great point you made. This is all post Salah. Liverpool. So I'm content with this. We can move on and forget about this game. Is anything else you guys want to say in closing before we take it elsewhere? Speaking of Mark Gahey, it's 3 now. Wow. Sorry, Mark Gahey scored. He scored against
to our listeners, for context, Villa are currently losing 3-0 to Crystal Palace. Yes, at home at Villa Park to Crystal Palace. Some are saying that Unai Emery
Good
is
evening.
sticking, mates.
Tic-tac. What did he say? Marco Bistos.
No, that interview clip was golden.
That was hilarious. But yeah, okay, so that's us. Congratulations, Siva.
No, honestly. Shout out to Bosley. Shout out to Bosley.
That's what I want to say. My closing thing is, guys, what a free kick!
That was unbelievable.
Good Lord.
Yeah,
what
that was
a goal.
That was a training ground.
Honestly, fair enough, man. Or you can put your hands up.
That was an exceptional free kick.
It was so good.
British level, guys, that's an amazing free kick.
It was so.
I won't forget it.
It was so good that the pub I was at, there were like 4 Liverpool fans and the rest were Arsenal fans. The Liverpool fans didn't know it went in because it's literally off the post straight to the back of the net, and now it's rolling around the back. So it looked like it went around to the the side.
That's what I thought too.
Me too. So the Liverpool fans didn't celebrate because they thought he missed. Arsenal fans knew it was a goal, but they were just in shock. Niggas started clapping, bro. Yeah, that is up there with one of the greatest Premier League free kicks ever. Like, wow.
Yeah, genuinely. From that distance, my goodness. Unsavable as well. No discredit to Raya.
Yeah.
I don't
if
know
he was taller, all life, he was taller, he could have done something.
No, dude, the way
Courtois could have
swerved into the post. No.
Into the post, Khanya. I don't think into the post. If it didn't hit the post, then yeah. On the inside of the post.
At all times, you must remember, Raya is my height, bro. I definitely couldn't have saved it. Courtois could.
I tried to bait you there by saying 5'11". I thought you were gonna be like,
no.
I'm 6 foot.
I don't live in a cartoon, bro. Like my height is relevant only when talking about Raya. I know how tall he is. It's like
damn,
day to day
is our height. That's crazy, man. But no, look, shout out. Also, Regans, happy birthday. But Zoboslai, Valverde, they're the same guy. Anyways,
the Bosley might be better. Continue.
Moving swiftly along, Man United win the Burnley Champions League. Guys, I'm never, ever, ever, ever going to be the celebration police. But that was some of the most abysmal and shameless. Bruno Bruno scored the pen. They played. The ball went out. He looked at the ref. He said, time, ref. He said, Burnley. It's Burnley
Mate,
at
that's the
home.
game.
No, guys, what were your takeaways from that game? Siva, it's looking more and more like your prophecy from like month 1 of Amarim saying he's not the guy is going to be true.
Yeah.
Have you seen anything to suggest? And we don't have to spend much time on United because we've spoken about them non-stop on this podcast. But I haven't heard Siba's points. Khanya, you can obviously chime in. Have you seen anything to suggest that this guy has like a plan, that like something is going to work out?
Amram is the wrong guy for the job, often because of how commercial and engaging football is for so many people around the world. We forget the human element that's also involved. I think a coach like Klopp coming to Liverpool is awesome, not because he's just such a good coach, but because he's such a Liverpool type of coach. Amarim, I think if he went to maybe a smaller Premier League club, could have done something. I don't think he's amazing as a coach, but I don't think he's bad either. I think he was fine. But he's being shown up at United because he's not Jose Mourinho. He's not Alex Ferguson. He's not a person that can shoulder these kinds of big, cold corporate level types of jobs and turn it into success and results. He's not that type of guy. He's so in his feelings about everything that, dude, you're missing the big picture. At Man United, it's not about, I need to get the players there. No, dude. No. Be an egotistical maniac.
Yeah, piece of shit.
Then they will win. Like,
Yeah.
that's actually how it works.
That's such a good. I've never thought of the. We all talk about Klopp being him. It makes sense. Like Klopp, if I
Cultural
describe,
fit.
yeah, if I describe him as a coach, Dortmund and Liverpool makes perfect sense that those are his clubs. Arsenal, Arsene Wenger makes perfect sense. This whole classy, there's a right way to do things. Arsene Wenger died by his morals. Arsenal, same thing. Amarim and this humble gimmick. It gets you no brownie points with Man United fans.
Dude, it'll never work.
And it's why they co-signed. It's such a fucking good point, Siva. It's why they co-signed Ten Hag, because week 1 he came with delusion.
He came in and said, "Eras come to an end, brother." He said eras come to an end, and I'm here to do it. And in the second game of the season, he beat Liverpool. Don't forget it.
Was the first
Don't
game was
forget it.
4-0 against Brentford, or was that?
Yeah. No,
Is it
actually,
second-
sorry, third game. It was third game.
Okay.
Yeah, third game against
and
Liverpool.
he had them doing the ETH salutes in the group. So like that is
Dude.
such a fucking good point, dude. I need to
Dude,
stop
you
swearing
need
so
dude,
much.
look
I
at
have
how
to stop
Zlatan
swearing. Let me
performed
calm.
at United. Look at CR7 back at United. You need guys who are dicks, bro. Like, you need guys who are egotistical maniacs, bro. Like,
Yeah.
bro, otherwise
You need to be a force of personality. You need to have like a gravitas of sorts.
Yes.
Dude, Rashford wasn't cried after scoring his first goal.
Hey,
It was
man.
never going to work. It was
And Dan
never going
James,
to work.
right?
I'm sorry.
when Dan James scored the
It's never gonna
equalizer,
work.
and then he did and then Rashford said,
No,
"Dude, get the ball, bro."
Mm. No, but you guys are right. Like, there is a certain kind of cultural and personality fit that I think Amorim clearly lacks. I think the fact that now the United fans in the group constantly are annoyed by the fact that he's constantly giving out all these interviews.
Yeah.
I think it's a really bad sign when your fans don't want to hear more from you. They don't want
Yeah.
answers from you. They just want results. And he's lost them. I don't think
Which
there's
is-
United fans who believe
are-
in anything he has to say anymore. He's unadaptable. This idea of Amorim chasing the game and making this one change, it's Maguire up top. That's the change.
But Harry's
Every
cold.
time. And it works.
But
And it works. But it's like if that's what you have to rely on as like the great
a
tactical
problem.
innovation,
It's a problem.
that's all you have right now. The one green shoot in Amorim's season so far is Mason Mount actually looks like who he is again.
And Khanya.
I mean, Cunha's always good. Cunha's a 7 m signing. He has to be.
I hear you,
Yeah.
but it's United. It's United. You know, United can take anyone and make them make them absolute shit.
I hear you.
So I think that's a good point though. That like, unlike systems in the past, and Siba, maybe this is what you're speaking to when you say he's a good coach, because I do think Amorim is a good coach. My faith in him was rooted in the fact that this guy understands football. Like, he's not dumb. But I think a positive sign is the fact that good players are performing well in the team, right? So like, the team is still a mess chemistry-wise, cohesive in terms of cohesiveness, but you are seeing Mount, Khanya, as you just said, he has looked like a player that is serious about football again, right? Cunha
Yeah.
has looked menacing. Dogu, a bit stupid still, but looking good. Mazraoui had a good spell last season. So I think the cultural fit really may be what it is. It's a thing of like he needs to demand respect instead of expecting a level of like meritocracy to shine through, and fans appreciate that aspect of things. But we all agree, long may they be in the pits. It is honestly comedy.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
I
I
like
want to
it's getting kind of weird though.
not yet. No.
When I watched the game yesterday, I was like confused. I was just like, bro, what are you guys talking about? Why is this happening? It reminded me of I don't know if you remember Sheiks when we drew 2-2 against Wolves. Lacazette
Mhm.
scored like the 90th minute
Yeah,
and no one
Pepe and
celebrated.
Lacazette scored. Yeah, Pepe and Lacazette
Yeah,
scored. Yeah, I remember. I remember. Wait, hold
yeah.
on. We celebrated like crazy, didn't we?
No, different game. Go
Different game.
rewatch it. There's
Okay.
one where Lacazette scores, bro. Oaks are bleak.
Okay.
It's like maybe 2 months
I
before
remember.
Emery gets fired.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of Arteta. Emery. Okay, I remember that. Hey, yo, I
Yeah.
don't want to rewatch that. Moving along to Chelsea. The question I have for you guys is, how good is João Pedro going to be? Kanya, okay, you can give us your views on Chelsea holistically, but just please start there because my dad, I know Pedro has made an impression because he knows his name now, right? And like my dad's 72. He's been watching this. He's 70. He's been watching this since 1980 something. He stopped learning new player names. You know who broke him? It was Michu Batshuayi. He said, "There's no way I'm saying that name." He said, "There's absolutely no way." So ever since then, he just calls you by who you kind of look like, right? So like if you didn't have your debut before 2016, if he'll look at someone, so like he'll look at like Enzo and then just say like diminutive Latin, okay, Xavi. So he calls him Xavi, right? He just says, and I know now he's talking about Enzo, but he knows João Pedro's name and he's very gassed about him. And I kind of gaslit my dad, but now that's a great header. That's a great start. How good do you think this guy can be? Do you think Chelsea have found, and ironically, their leading nine after signing a different nine?
Drogba.
Who wants to
What?
take this? I don't know what he
Do
said.
you think? Do you think he's the new? I'm asking Kanya as well. Kanya's taking.
No. João Pedro is 16 league goals at best. I prefer to describe him very simply as Gabriel Jesus, if he was fit. I think he just reminds me of Jesus.
There is
I don't think he is a super goal hungry player. I don't think he wants to be just a nine. I think Mariska knows this as well, and he keeps trying to play. Well, was trying to play the lap alongside João Pedro. Yeah, like he's not a pure nine, but he's a very very good footballer. He's not a 20 goal kind of player either. And
Is he like a
ironically,
Cunha?
he is a Cunha.
very similar, closer to being just a nine than Cunha is.
Perfect side cut you of Cunha. Jesus is the perfect comparison because Jesus, Cunha, Pedro, same player, different fonts. And I think it speaks to a more holistic problem in Brazilian football. Neymar, I blame Neymar, right? Because I think Neymar took a whole generation of Brazilians and confused them. If these guys were born 20 years prior, they're out and out strikers. But because they saw Neymar do what Neymar did, where Neymar was like, he's the middle child between Ronaldinho and R9. Neymar occupies the space between the two of them. He's not as much of a playmaker, just a playmaker as Ronaldinho, but he's not a pure goal scorer like Ronaldo. He'll do both. So I think a bunch of guys think they can be Neymar. So we have Jesus, Pedro, and Cunha, where they'll have highlights, but they may not score the goals. And I see why you're saying 16 goal season, because it's like, do you want to score at times? Like you're kind of like, do you actually want to score? Or do you want to
He
play
wants to
well?
bowl. He
Yeah,
wants
you
to
want to
bowl.
That's
bowl.
like
Yeah.
He doesn't want to.
Neymar has 400 career goals.
Which is why, no, that's why
No,
I'm saying,
that's
that's what
because
I'm
he's
saying.
an abnormal talent.
He's a
He's
hybrid.
different.
You can't aim.
Yeah.
You can't aim for Neymar. You know what I mean? You can't. You can't watch Neymar play and say, "When I grow up, like,
I
shut
want
up,
to be
dude."
like this.
Like shut
You
up.
would already be like that.
Yeah,
If you were going to be like,
exactly.
you would know. You would just be doing it.
Exactly, right? Like and even like jumping a bit, but even like Yamal, like you're not. I hate these fucking mirror things. You're not him. You're never going to be him because whilst you may be able to do what he does on a football pitch in actual play, you're not going to score as much as him. Neymar's not normal. You know what I mean? So that's why I use the. I was speaking to some Brazilians about this. They were like, Neymar merged what Ronaldinho brought and what Ronaldo brought. He said, let me combine the two. And he has the drive and the ability to impact a game to do that. Pedro, Jesus, all of these guys are like less like they're trying to do the same thing. And the one person who I think was smart enough to realize they're not that is Firmino. because he embraced that role of being the bridge between
Facilitator.
between good performances and scoring. These other guys, they still want their names in light. Like they still want those moments to be the guy. But it's like, so Khanya, for you, you're saying good piece, but not it.
Yeah.
See,
I think the unfortunate thing for Chelsea, sorry to interrupt. The unfortunate thing for Chelsea is that they finally signed someone who played amazingly with Nicholas Jackson as they tried to ship him out, and they put in the lap instead. Like really, really, really poor squad building. If you got those two, you got Palmer out wide, and then just fine. It's probably going to be Garnacho, but imagine what that could have been instead of
Exactly.
the lap. Why did they get the lap?
Yeah.
What why? Why were
I
they
think-
so hungry for him?
I think they had to. Like Brexit, bro. I think you need some English. Chelsea's an English club. Like through and through. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny now. Like, yeah, like think about it. Like every era of Chelsea have had like an English core of sorts, right? So like Terry, Lampard, Cahill, you know, like who was in the midfield? There's an English person in the midfield when or am I lying? It was just
Which area are you referring to?
Conte era. Was it just Senken Mourinho into Conte? Was it just Gary Cahill?
There were no English midfielders in that time. I can promise you that much. Because
Matic and Kante.
Matic.
Drinky. Why they signed Drinky? Because they need
because
something.
they got confused. Okay.
Yeah,
They need some.
Anyway.
So Siba, for you,
Siba, your views.
How do you take Pedro? Like, are you like? Do you think he can lead this Chelsea team? Because it's a fucking great start. He's doing the hardest part of joining a big club.
Big ups to him, man. I think Pedro, this doesn't even feel like a purple patch to me. Like he's okay. This archetype that we keep, discussing around, it's a second striker, right? You're an SS, and he's performing that role really well because I think I see João Pedro taking initiative far more often than like a Jesus, for example. I think he doesn't. He's not the out-and-out goal scorer. I agree with Khanya. He's 16 goals at best. But when the time calls for it, that guy will put up his hand and be like, no, I'll do it. I'll score that goal. I'll win that header and score that goal, I really appreciate that about him. I think what makes it weird is the Palmer of it all. I like Esteval, and I think he's going to grow into a really great player. But João Pedro, Esteval, Cole Palmer, Liam Delap, something in that cocktail feels bitter. Like something is not sitting right with me. And I mean, obviously, Delap is the weakest link, but I actually also think that João Pedro makes things weird in that too. I wish that he was the out and out 9 because he can be sacrificial. If you've got Esteban and Palmer and stuff behind him, dude, that's your Salah and Mane, bro. Bring them in. They'll score. But I don't know. Palmer's influence has obviously reduced a lot in the past few months because I don't know, they want to make him a midfielder, dude. That guy put him up top, bro. Listen, make him create up there. Yo,
Palmer will not be I saw a friend of the podcast, He's Just Nice, Patolo Jr. He was there saying he quoted a Paul Cole Palmer tweet saying like I don't think a Chelsea player has made me this happy ever or something like that, like since Hazard or something. And I just don't have the heart to tell these Chelsea fans, this is not your guy. He's going to be the sacrificial lamb Chelsea need to get rid of to become the team that they want.
You saying Cole Palmer's Bruno?
Yeah, exact same player. Guys, this is the reality of that type of archetype of football, and this is a hot take. We can clip this. We'll see if I'm right or wrong. These are the guys that watched Messi and said, "Oh, I want to be the X Factor," but you're not good enough to be the X Factor and win the big titles. If you are a guy who localizes your team, who localizes your attack, who everything, when you're on the pitch, everything has to flow through you, not because you're the best, but because that's the only game you know how to play. If you choke and don't deliver, you're going to get shipped. And that's how football has always worked since the Galacticos started. And we've seen that with the Galacticos. Because the Galacticos had Schneider and they had Robin. They said, oh, these guys are good. They got cooked. Wait, you're not good enough. Get out. And that's what Perez normalized in football. So in the past, you would have a Cole Palmer and he'd become a cult hero, right? I respect him more, but like a Francesco Totti, where it's like the club realizes we're probably not going to win the big trophies with you, but you mean so much to the fans. You blood, sweat, and tears every week. We'll keep you and we'll see if anything can happen, if you can deliver at the biggest level. In football in 2025, The moment they see your limitations, they say, okay, let's ship him out. So now I don't think Cole will get shipped out, but I think so long as he's in this team, no matter who you sign, unless it is a goal scoring striker who's just there to score goals or a playmaking winger, you're not going to help Palmer get better. So your team is almost going to not operate functionally, and that's been our beef with Chelsea the whole time. It's like silos operating on a pitch together. So yeah, I think
their signings aren't informed by who's currently in the squad. They're just signing guys.
Perfect. Yeah, just signing names.
It doesn't make sense that they just signed Garnacho. You guys know Quinda joins next season. Exactly. That's my point.
Who is that?
Bear in mind, I rate Quinda. He plays for Amarim's former team, Sporting. He's 18 years old. They signed him for 40 million. He's another winger.
No, I said,
so what's the plan? What's the plan? He's gonna play where? That means one of Neto. Well, probably Tariq George.
It'll be Neto.
Speaking. Yeah. But probably Neto. That means Neto's leaving next season. So it's just like, okay, all this time of him like actually acclimating to the squad is a waste, because now you're gonna believe in another 18-year-old, and then Jamie Gittins, who's 21, he'll take Neto's role, and then after that they'll sell him and they'll buy. You get my point. This thing of just constantly they'll buy Josh King. I
can't believe they're not signing like
and then they'll
a
play him out wide,
or a goalkeeper, or
Bro, they started with Tosin Adebayo is a starting centre back for Chelsea right now. They bought him by mistake.
What do you mean by mistake? Like when you
they didn't mean to do that. I promise you. When they were like planning for the season, they were like, we need a young centre back, and they said, yeah, let's get this. We get him. I think they meant to get Guehi back, bro.
And doing this, I think
they tried to get Tomori.
And Tomori back. They got it. They made him.
There's a toe. Sounds like an African boy. Toe something. He's toe something. He's a young black boy. I know him. I like him.
They searched by race, nationality, position. They clicked on the wrong.
Like, bro, the fact that they still have Disasi and Badiashile and Fofana, and it's just like none of these guys are your starting centre backs. None of them. Who have you bought, bro? Who are these players?
For me, the key is what Siba just said. You're not going to sign a goalkeeper. You're doing this with Sanchez. Insane. Listen, Chelsea, this turned into a full-on hate sesh, but like, good win, guys.
I know Khanya like that one.
We have a Chelsea member on this podcast. He just is unavailable. Les is supposed to be holding it down for you guys, but unfortunately, none of us are really sympathize. We don't sympathize with your team, so we tell it how it is. Yeah, but good win. João Pedro, great starts, are looking promising. Khanya, you were going to say something before we moved on?
I just want to give a shout out to the FPL names, and before we move on, it's important that I thought this is a great moment to grab it. Lesli's FPL name is Robert Sanchez out, as the Chelsea fan. Just in case you guys are aware. But when we talk about FPL, it's important, guys. I know we didn't mention it at the start of the episode. If you want to win this year, you're going to be eligible for competitions, you have to join by September 13th. If you are not there by then, you are not an eligible candidate. Another reminder, we are still running the Vintage Kitman promo, in case you've forgotten. 20% off. Code is DND20. Thank you very much. Thank you, Les. Thank you, Robert Sanchez.
20% off. And let me tell you something. Man United fans, you keep talking about back in your day. Get the shirt. Get the shirt so you can relive those days. Right? Vintage Kitman on IG. He has everything. I'm going to blow a bag. I even said on the group, if there weren't women in my life, I'd be getting those shirts right now. Unfortunately. Anyways, moving swiftly along after that great ad break. Khanya, shout out. Let's look at, for me, just a quick touch on, we're just going to look at a few things that stood out for me. What's going on in Europe? It's at mass point where teams can't defend anymore. And I say that because I was working and passively watching. I have like a few monitors and things on in the back. And I swear PSG were up 3-0 at one point. And then things happen. What do you mean 5-3? Right? And then it happened again. I think it was yesterday, where I'm watching passively in the background, and I'm like, oh, Bayern's up 2. What do you mean? It's now 3-2. So what do you guys think is happening? Do you think, and it's too early to say, we know teams wake up later, I understand, but is the gap at the top, and is it closing? Are teams just not, kind of coming off of a very boring era of football? Are they now emphasizing attacking more? What do you guys write this down to?
I think
go ahead.
I think the gap is closing for sure, especially because I mean, obviously, there's like the financial aspects. You know, teams can complain like, "Oh, we can't compete for the big players and this and that or whatever." But I look at the quality of football. It is very clear to me that we kind of soft launched this thing of there's no easy game in the Premier League. Like a couple of years ago, people started saying that, right?
My dad's favorite
And
sentence, bro.
it's remember people started saying that all of a sudden now it's like a normalized thing that you can play Nottingham Forest, and a few years ago you would think, oh well, that's the game that you win, but now it's like I really don't know. I don't know who we could. It's like Wolves and Burnley. That's you can beat them.
West Ham, West Ham, West Ham.
Hey, hey,
Oh,
hey, hey!
West Ham as
West
well.
Ham put 3 on
Hey, but
Forest today.
Sorry.
Paqueta starting is still it's not that easy. That Brazilian funk gets him in
Yeah,
the mood,
hey.
Actually,
man. That's the real Brazilian funk.
are United gonna beat West Ham?
I don't even want to think about it.
It's very hard. I don't know. I don't know what to say with that club, bro. I don't know. But yeah, Siba, you were saying? Sorry, Siba, your
See, but
connection, your mic.
your mic is hurt.
Oh, can you guys hear me now?
Oh, he was
There we
being
go.
an
Yeah.
old man and covering the mic. Oh, Unk.
Okay. Anyway,
Carry on, carry on,
I
carry
was
on.
saying that the gap is closing. I think it's being reflected in the scores as well because even at the top clubs, I agree with your point, Sheiks, that the top clubs can't defend as well anymore. I mean, Arsenal and Liverpool are probably the two best in the Premier in terms of defense, but everyone else, dude, there's no good defense outside of that, bro. There's
Right.
good, good, no.
Yeah, Khanya, you're gonna take us to Syria, I'm sure.
I don't think it's the fact that I am, but I don't think it's the fact that the gap is closing between the best teams and the not so great teams. I think that generally speaking, there's just fewer coaches that truly value defense the same way. And I feel like the
Mm,
coaches who are really defense first are the Moises, the Contes, like they're older guys. The young coaches all seem to be styling themselves around some version of being a super attacking, free flowing coach. Like I think Vincent Company specifically, like mentioned the Bayern game, is someone who he wants a 3-0, 4-0 win as opposed to someone content with the 1-0, 2-0. And I think that's why he ended up in that kind of game. That's
right.
actually why I don't think that Bayern are likely to win the Champions League because I think to win the Champions League you need to be able to lock games down.
Would
I'm
you
yet
would
to
you would you
see
would you also say that about Barcelona when it comes to the Champions League and PSG, or because they're kind of similar in that sense?
110%. I just think that both PSG and Barca have a lot more. I don't say it's not firepower. It's not about the players specifically, but there's an inevitability about their attackers where they kill games off differently. I
Right,
think.
right. Okay,
Yeah,
I hear you.
and I think that's what
Relentless
works best
is.
for them.
I hear you.
And I think what happened to Barca last season was the result of them not valuing defending that much. It's like they
Yeah,
don't have another gear. They don't have a 5-4-1. We're locking this down now. There's no kind of switch like that for Barca.
Yeah.
And yeah, PSG, they had Donnarumma. That's a difference maker. We're talking about
yeah.
Allison, and you need one of those to make up for that kind of lapse. I think someone who does value defending, who's relatively young coach, is Fabregas. To some extent, he was unlikely to lose this weekend, just switching to Syria. But I think that is the league where defense is always valued. I
Yeah.
don't think you
Yeah,
can.
that's
I don't
true.
think you can make it as a Syria coach. Like Ten Hag wouldn't get hired by a team in Syria. He
Looks like
has
I'll
he
never get
has
hired
two.
again.
The way things are going, it looks like it. But yeah, he has too little regard for his defensive structure, I think. So again, I think I hear why. I think maybe it's a bit of both. Your point about there never being easy games in the Prem, like I really do hear that. But for me, it is the coaches themselves. It is the coaches themselves not being wired that way. I think someone like Thomas Frank, for example, stands a good example of someone who really values defending.
Mm,
Thomas Frank is unlikely to
Yeah.
find himself getting beaten 5-4.
six,
He's not.
seven,
He's
yeah.
not. He's not for those kinds of games. Like
Yeah.
what
Yeah. I
happened to him
agree.
that Bournemouth game? That one. Those like you can get battered like on the pitch, but scoreline
You
it's never
never,
getting that crazy.
which is
Yeah.
a
I could
great
say the same
Cheeks.
for
example.
Iraola as well. Iraola, I could say the same
Iriola.
for him as well. But even in that, okay, actually, and that's what I want to clarify with that point, Kanye, because I think there is the point of it being by design from the managers. But I do think that the quality level of from your CDM to your defensive back four, back five, or whatever, I think that the gap is closing. I don't think that outside of Arsenal, Liverpool, dude, it's like take your pick, man. Everyone kind of is mid. Everyone's mid.
I hear. I can kind of see what you're coming from there, and I say that because like football, as we've long been saying on this podcast, is in a very transitionary period. So it's kind of like until it's cut clear in sand that you are a big name and you are better than me. I don't think teams are going to go up against opposition and necessarily fear you the same way,
Mm.
unless your squad has that aura, like the Madrid thing, right? That kind of saved them in those transitionary years when Vinny was finding himself and stuff, and Benzema obviously becoming Benzema. The name of Real Madrid 18, 19 weren't as bad as they should have been. And they were bad, but they weren't as bad as they lost everyone. Bale, Ronaldo, like Benzema got injured,
Yeah.
they finished fourth. Like it would have been a lot worse if they were in Real Madrid. So you can still have those situations with the big clubs. Yeah, Khanya?
Lopetegui is the only reason things were that bad. But I hear
I
you.
Yeah,
mean,
that
look,
guy sucks.
that's fair. He wasn't great as well, but I do think, generally speaking, like when you don't have the fear factor on your opposition, it's kind of hard to impose yourself defensively and offensively. So like the gap between I don't know if it's a form temporary thing or if it's a set in stone thing. Time will tell. But I tell you, I'm like having watched Arsenal Bournemouth live. Those Bournemouth guys, Semenyo is not scared of anyone. Let me tell you something right now. Like Semenyo doesn't care. Evan Nielsen, no, he's going to be. I hope he stays at Bournemouth for a while. That is PL heritage. That guy does not give a fuck who. He kind of reminds me of like Jermaine Defoe back in the day. So it's like not in terms of how he plays, but just in terms of like the fact that he's a
I
name
was about
that
to say
can,
that's
yeah, he's a name that
huge
can get a
jams. Yo.
goal. He's like net. Kanye, you're muted.
I was saying I just had to let you elaborate. I was very thrown by the Nilsson Defoe
No, 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 no,
comparison.
no, yeah, not how he plays, but like Defoe Spurs will have a random Champions League game because he'll make the Champions League once every 6 seasons against Bayern, and he'll bag. Evan Nielsen will score against your team in the most tired way, but it's just to say, the point I'm trying to make is like he doesn't respect the status quo. There are those players in every
Yeah.
era, but like right now more so than any other. I don't think people going up against Dortmund fear the Dortmund team. People going up against Khanya as a Milan fan, like they're saying to Milan, prove to us, if you're playing against whoever, Como, prove to us you're better than us. And I think a lot of teams don't step up and have the discipline to perform for 90 minutes, so they end up slipping up, losing leads, cuts, etc., etc. Is there anything else, Kanye? Is there anything else you wanted to touch on? I apologize. I zoned out because the Arsenal and Bayern tickets just dropped. I think I'm going to a Champions League game. I won't lie, man. I need to.
Hey,
I need to.
hey.
I need to make it happen. I'm gonna drop my L link on our Twitter page because I need to make it happen. I won't lie. L link is coming. L link. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Kanya, is there anything else you wanted to touch on, or Siva? Is there anything you wanted to take us?
I'm just astonished at the direction you've taken us. I hope it works out. I hope you get tickets. But besides that, no. The start of the season hasn't had what I thought it would so far. Like as much as this was a very big game, a big moment, both this game and Arsenal versus United, kind of underwhelming in terms of like the actual like viewing experience.
Yeah.
Newcastle versus Liverpool, that was good because of the drama. I feel like we haven't had like the game like the way like the season has started now.
I'd say no. Liverpool,
I feel like
Newcastle.
Yeah.
Guys, no, Liverpool, Newcastle.
I feel like that was more of
No,
an
but that
emotive
wasn't
thing.
that wasn't high quality
That was
though.
an Isak custody battle game.
Yeah.
It wasn't
It was
like
hell in
a
the cell, bro. It
football
was hell
like
in the
bro,
cell.
like just two really
Okay,
good teams
fair.
going at it. It was too much drama. It's the Gordon red card. It's this. It's that. Why did
It wasn't
Osula
a good
score?
game. It was
When will
not a good
Osula
game.
score again? No, it's just because the game needed the script for real to score the winner. That's it. That's all that was happening. That was drama. Too
Okay,
much
fair,
drama. I
fair,
want
fair. So
a
you're talking about
like
high quality
I want a good
football on
game.
display.
yes, like dude, like Slut himself even pointed out, I was like, dude, that game was not nice to watch. He said he only watched back the first half. He was like, after that it's 10 versus 11. There was like the last time the ball was in play for that short a period of time was like a game in 2010.
Mm.
I think it was Stoke versus West Brom. Like bro, no, like I'm looking forward to the international break. I'm hoping everyone comes back, prepared for us
Like a
to
nice
have
Madrid derby or something.
something
That'd
like a game where we're speaking about it like 2 or 3 days later. I've already forgotten Liverpool versus Arsenal. It's already gone. All that
yeah.
all that was there was about let's go.
There's no way I'm watching those highlights.
Yeah, at all. I have nothing I run or rewatch. Just have
There
no
were
time.
none. There are no highlights. It's about that free kick.
Yeah, literally.
One last thing to touch on, and I think we can close after this. Man City?
I told you.
Kanye did tell us. He did. I wanted to believe. I thought that there was something, I believe in Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland and Cole Palmer would be nice. But anyway, Man City, no. I like Rangers, though.
That
I
could
don't
work,
like
yeah.
that. So They flip flopping on him. They're like,
He's
nah,
fucking, he's
actually,
good. Raiders is phenomenal.
he's
Yeah, Raiders
good.
is
They're
good.
also like,
Yeah.
nah, the Bournemouth game punked me. It didn't punk you.
Wolves,
I don't
Wolves.
know. Oaks are so reactive, but the
These
thing
you saw
is,
you saw
defensively,
you saw when
they
he
were.
did season 1 episode 1, and now they're all quoting with cancelled shows.
I've been seeing that, like, yeah. Cancelled the season after
Very
the pilot.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
Very
I
unfortunate.
hate football Twitter.
I've been seeing that, but, dude. City suck because I think Pepper's maybe he's just working his way back into his own bed, bro. He's still sleeping on the couch a little bit. She's giving him another chance, but it's on probation. So
For me,
once that's good, he'll be fine.
you'll be able to. Yeah, and for me, I think that's what I was going to say. It seems like a team chemistry problem. The difference between the mega signings now versus mega signings in the past. Mega signings in the past would be joining into an established hierarchy of seniority in the club. So if you look at what De Bruyne joined, it was Yaya Toure didn't stay long, but it was Yaya Silva.
David Silva, yeah.
Those were the
It was a
guys.
leadership group,
There was a
and now
leadership
they don't
group.
really have
Yeah,
one.
And then after that, when they become the guys, and then Bernardo Silva comes. It's David Silva, Thingy, Sane, Silva. Now it's like all freshmen, all newcomers, first years coming in at the same time, and there
yeah.
isn't like this is I haven't seen Man City sign a midfielder and that midfielder be needed the way Rangers is needed. Probably since they got money. Maybe okay, I like Ilano because when they first signed Ilano, that he became their whole fucking team. Yeah, he became everything for them, in like 08. But like
Gareth Barry.
Streets will
Gareth
never
Barry was big.
forget, man.
Gareth Barry as well. But
Streets
like it's
will
been a
Gareth
while.
Barry
never
was
forget.
big.
It's been over 10 years, like 15 years since I last saw Man City sign a player and Pep not be able to say to him, okay, just relax, learn the system. If Rangers is injured, they're cooked. There's no one who can play that 8. There's no one who can play in between. So it's like even though Bernardo Silva he can't. Like he's a weird guy. Bernardo Silva just
He's
kind of
done. He's done. Bernardo's
yeah,
finished.
he's
He's finished.
he's a weird baller, but like world class. But he doesn't fit your typical midfield model. Rangers is like Gundogan's like regen type player in the squad. David Silva, like that's his role, is to get them ticking. So City are in this weird place where they don't have the tradition and the culture that makes players, I think, shrink and want to prove themselves, right? That's kind of what you like a club like Man United, Real Madrid, they've always depended on that for new signings. Like you're not good enough until you do something here. Henri has that famous story at Barcelona, Mexican club. He said, what does that mean? Xavi says, when you win something you can chop. That's to Thierry Henry, right? So they don't have that, Man City. They don't have that tradition or that custom, that culture. They're posting throwback videos of 2018. So it's like they're a bit
Oof.
cooked. They're a bit cooked in that
Oof.
sense. Now you don't have the squad where you're signing players and he's leaning on the leadership or the guidance of this person, that person, and he's competing with them at the same time. It was a very good mentoring program Pep had started. I think selling Gundogan ends up being, in my opinion, the transfer that could honestly kill Pep's stronghold on the Man City team, because Gundogan now doesn't look like he's going to be a starter. Doesn't look like he's going to be a key piece, and he got sold at the peak of his powers, for Man City. And I think that is probably what is impacting the new crop of midfielders. I think Toby said Man City need wingers. I disagree. I think they have wingers. I just think there isn't a hierarchy as to who is better than who. Oscar Bob,
Yeah, they need leaders.
they need leaders, right? So Khanya, I forget what you said. Did you say Man City were cooked, or like what was the exact sentiment you echoed, just for the listeners?
For the most part, it was more about the fact that defensively, I think they food. I think
Food.
I highlighted that last season was the first time they conceded 40 league goals since the season Leicester won the league. And I asked, in what ways have they gotten better defensively than at the end of last season? And I don't think that anything's changed. So for that reason, I'm just like, there's like again we talked about earlier about the lack of like solid defenses in the league. They kind of serve as an example. But your point about the need for like the midfielders to kind of like stamp their authority, very valid. I think it's also just finding their rhythm. I think the fact that today there was no Foden, there was no Cherky, to kind
Yeah.
of hope to piece it together with Bernardo Silva, Reinders, Rodri. Like again, it's a really good midfield, but Bernardo Silva shouldn't really be in these kinds of games anymore, unfortunately. And that's sad to say about Brighton away, but it's the type of game where you would need Foden, and he was unfortunately injured. You would need Cherky to arrive, and now he's unfortunately injured. He's out for 8 weeks. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of figuring in this time with players are meant to be betting in and making themselves known and established. So you're talking about needing leaders. We've spoken many times, and I've poked and made fun of him maybe too much at this point. Phil Foden, if this is your team, if this is you, if this is where you make yourself known as Manchester City's, one of our own, the guy who really made it from the academy amongst all the riches, this is the type of season, this is the type of time where it's like, okay, cool. Foden's going to be what knits this together
Yeah, he's very much
because
needed.
there's no one else right now in that slot.
You made a point that we had a bit of an argument over the whole who's captain thing, right? And I'm not trying to rehash the argument, but I want to use that whole point to reiterate what you just said. Man City don't have this is no one's team. Like Man City don't have a guy who is going like you look at Arsenal, you say, okay, cool. Whether however you feel about Odegaard, Rice is who you're looking at to say, or Gabriel for the next 6 seasons. That's the guy. Liverpool, Van Dijk, I think he can play for another 3-4 years. Allison can be there until he's probably 40. Salah historically, but as Siva said, he's probably going to get sold. But they're Oaks who are going to usher in the next guys. Man City, Haaland is a mercenary. I think we all know he's going to leave Man City at some point, probably in the next. I think he's going to probably try push for Shearer's record, just the rate at which he's scoring. I think they said if he maintains this within 3 seasons, 2.5 seasons, he'll get it. Then I think he'll jump ship, right? Like late 20s.
Wait, what?
I mean,
I
the
don't want
rate.
to go. I don't want to script. He's gonna reach Shearer's record in 3 or 4 seasons. No way.
Yeah,
Mate. No.
he has 88 and 100. Today was his 100th game. He scored 88 goals. If he stays for like three seasons, how many? 38, 4 or 5 seasons. 4 or 5
What's
seasons.
wrong with that guy? Oh, okay. Sorry. to
4 or
interrupt.
5 seasons. I may have. Yeah, you're right to call me out. I may have gotten my math wrong, but it was something crazy like that. That like the
Yeah.
rate at which he's scoring, he needs like another 120 something games to get to
Yeah.
204. Syria has how many? 250.
260.
260. Yeah, something like if he like another 140, 50 games, he'll be able to get to that number if he continues at this rate. He's disgusting.
Yeah.
It is disgusting. But you're right. It wasn't 3 or 2 or 3. It was like 4 or 5 seasons. But City don't have a guy. Khanya, to your point, like who is the guy? Bernardo's 31. I think he's when you're whole. And this is my issue. My issue's always been as good as he was at his best. He was an energy merchant. It was definitely his ability to do. No, he was. I mean, the technical ability is phenomenal, but he's very much that era, that Klopp era of midfielder. Bernardo Silva is he's the max of
The
that.
best of those players.
The best of those players. And as soon as your legs go, good luck, right? He's not strong. He's not particularly like good at spacing. So he's a weird player in that sense. Bernardo is not the guy. Foden, it is screaming to be you because I do not think you're ever going to leave this club. Not because there won't be options, but because why would you? This is your home. So I wonder if Pep recognizes that this is a huge season for Phil Foden. I don't know. Man City are in a weird place. I think, not sadly, I'm happy they're in a weird place. But the sad thing for City fans is, on top of no longer having big names, they don't have swag anymore. That Puma kit's dead. The names of your players, Bob, you can't depend on the guy. As good as he is, Oscar Bob. Like the name, the source is gone. Kevin De Bruyne, you're afraid. Oscar Bob. Even Marmoush sounds like a friendly guy. He doesn't sound like, he doesn't sound like he's phenomenal, but he doesn't sound like he's gonna, I don't know, City in a weird
Nigga's name
place.
is Omar.
Dude, like, I was about to do the Mohammed thing. Anyways, the point I'm trying to make is Man City holistically, in Khanya, your call may be correct. They've never been defensively, sound, and who knows what's going to come offensively from them. It's kind of a question mark.
Maybe Donnarumma changes things. Maybe Foden does come back. Look, there's still, like I said,
Fuck
we're so
Donnarumma.
early into the season that I feel like we haven't seen anything yet. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like the season's properly started. It's had moments and it's been fun, and there's been some dramatic comebacks, but we do still need that feeling, that game. And
Fairs.
maybe they'll show something. Voltemada at Newcastle. Let's see what he has. Let's see if 6'5" does anything. There's lots to be excited about. We
Mark
have
Voltemada.
yes, him. Like the transfer window is still not over. We never know. Maybe there'll be one more thing that makes it feel like, okay, cool. Now we're watching the
We're watching
2025,
football.
2026 season for real.
Okay.
But
No,
Sheiks,
fairs.
that's me. That's me. I think we've touched on most of what's going on.
Siba,
Shout,
anything you
shout
want
out
to say?
Xabi Alonso. Good luck handling that absolute mess.
Siba,
Sure.
anything you want to say in
Take care.
closing?
My closing thing is I'm happy for you, Jack Grealish. Truly, like in a footballing sense, I'm happy for you, man.
Good shout.
You deserve
Yeah.
that, bro. Like Go and get 10 goals and 10 assists and just enjoy whatever the hell you're doing over there. It's nice stuff.
That's a
That's the kind
really
of
good
football
shout.
story I like. Yeah. That's all I got to say.
No, that I saw that tweet saying this is what Jack Grealish is supposed to be, mid to like big to mid-sized club, cult hero, playing freely. You become a loved by all the fans. I think that is his mold. They tried to tell us, he was Gascoigne, as they try to say about every English player ever.
Anyone with a Cruyff turn.
With a
Nah, it's
Cruyff turn.
Gascoigne. It's
It's
Gascoigne.
Gascoigne. Wilshere, Foden, Grealish. But yeah, no, that's a good one, But my one was going to be Newcastle United. I don't know. I mean, not Newcastle. Sunderland. I don't know how long this is going to last. I don't know how it's happening, but shout out to you guys. And of course, I can't shout out Sunderland without shouting out my former nemesis, Granit Xhaka. Sir, you may stick around long enough for me to say hats off, because this guy is playing football, man. And it's impressive, because for me, Arteta's system, Xabi Alonso's system, they made the best of him, right? And he's always presented to me as a system player. When you're playing for Sunderland, no system can hide your deficiencies. So quite clearly, he has learned from those managers, and now he's actually able to impose himself in a football pitch holistically. I hate how Arsenal fans treat him. I know that the game against Sunderland, when he comes back to the Emirates, is going to make me angry. But, sir, I have to dap it, because that is just, it's pure midfield mastery on display. His understanding of spacing, angles, like, shout out to Granit Xhaka. I did not think you had it in you, but it goes to show, guys, in life, don't stop. Because we signed Granit Xhaka when he was 26. He's now, 24. 24, Khanya? 2017? How old is he?
24.
24. He's now 20. He's now 32. And he's doing well. Keep going. Because if he can make it, that's a fucking fraud.
We all
No.
This hate for Xhaka is shocking. He was always good for Switzerland. He just didn't fit us.
I'm used to this from Arsenal fans. I'm used to this.
I remember when I went to your crib. Then I went to your brother, and you were saying, I said, dude, because when your brother stopped watching football, so I was like, he's like, dude, who are you watching? I said, I start naming Arsenal players. He's like, Xhaka. Lechon Onyane has more than Granit Xhaka, and he started naming. He said Kakana has more than Granit Xhaka. Granit Xhaka is a liar, bro, and it frustrates me, right? It really does. But at this point, it's respect. It is respect, because he is now actually operating as a fully fledged professional footballer. And as you said, cool for Switzerland. Dude, he's getting loved. The Swiss, they love all their people. So, like, you can perform well where you're loved. There's no love in England.
He was always good for Switzerland. That's all I'm going to say.
So, okay, we have a Xhaka fan. Can I call you the Xhaka lover now? Because I have.
You called him the Swiss Xabi Alonso.
And with
you
that
called
note,
him the Swiss Xabi Alonso.
we can sign off.
Boom shakalaka for Khanya. Boom. Let's give you 3 boom shakas. Shaka boom, boom, boom.
All right, gentlemen, that's everything. A lot of yapping on my end. I apologize. Anyways, yeah, that's us. I hope you guys enjoyed the listen. I promise the real intros will be back next time. I was just very deflated going into this episode. As always, I am Malcom, Khanya, Lesiba. Keep debating. Thank you.